Crypto Bro Show is solely for entertainment purposes. Orlando Alzugaray and his guests are not financial advisors or investments consultants. If you ever plan to invest, make sure you do your homework, talk to a professional, and understand investing is very risky and volatile. Good luck in any of your investments, and only invest what you're willing to lose.
Time to log into the blockchain and find out what's the latest in Bitcoin and crypto in our Crypto Bro Show.
Crypto Bros.
This segment brought to you by RM Contractors and Custom Drywall. Take your home or business to the next level with RM Contractors and Custom Drywall. Call Ray or Mike at 305-345-3649. You dream it, they'll build it. See their fantastic work on Instagram at RMC Fisher Island.
Crypto Bros.
Here's the Crypto Bro himself, Orlando Alzugaray.
Yeah, we love it. All right. First of all, let's go with what's going on in Bitcoin, give you the latest, give you where it stands right now, holding at 62,338. We have peaked in the 65.8 range back on September 27th. But we have been on a little bit of a dip here. Great time to take advantage. Ethereum is down 2.2% to 2420. So it is 420 on Ethereum. Do the apropos thing. Solana is at $143. And then we could just go on and talk about many others. The market right now is up. Dow is up 68 points. The S&P is up almost 46 points, and the NASDAQ is just up over a point right now. In the world of the blockchain, Bitcoin, and everything else going on, bad news in Hong Kong. The Sang Index crashed 9.4% today, posting its largest drop since 2008 and the second largest drop since 2000. Remember, crypto and Bitcoin is worldwide. It's not just United States. And so we've got to talk about other things that affect it because it's called liquidity. And stay tuned because I'm going to show you the most important chart that matters to Bitcoin. I mean, when we talk about this is the chart that you got to watch. And it has a lot to do with this and many other things. Over the last 3 weeks, China's stock market was up nearly 30% on stimulus announcements. Remember, I tell you all the time that all these countries are just printing money and devaluing their currency. Not just us. China's doing it. Japan's doing it. Europe is doing it. Everybody has done it. And most people outside of the Swiss and a couple of other people where their currency is stronger than everybody else's, everybody is hurting. Okay, and we will be headed for hyperinflation down the line. In late 2025, we will start to really feel it. You're already feeling it. You just don't realize it, but you're already the inflation you guys keep talking about. It's because they all print money, not because of anything else, but whatever. And so stimulus are bad. It's bad for the economy, even if people may need it or whatever. I get it, but we got to fend for ourselves. When the country starts giving money away, they're just printing and devaluing the money, and then they're just adding it to your books, and your kids are the ones that are going to have to pay for all that shit, and they're not going to be able to, by the way. So a record 3.5 trillion yuan, was it won? Of equities changed in China's trading sessions today. This surpassed a previous all-time high, which was set on September 30th after stimulus announcements. So how does the market go from extreme euphoria to a crash? Well, they cut the reserve requirements by 0.5%. They cut 7-day RRP rates down to 0.2%, lowering mortgage rates, injecting $142 billion into the banks, forcing the rate cuts. You're making less money. See, every country is a business. So you got to have taxes in order to run the business. You got to pay for the roads. You got to pay for Social Security. You got to pay for all kinds of stuff. Schooling, what is it? What's it called? Defense, all kinds of shit that you have going on. So there has to be some taxes, right? And, for years we had 0%. That's not good business. And there's a reason why we're in the hole that we're in, because for years you weren't taking in the kind of money that you're supposed to be taking in, because property taxes alone aren't going to satisfy. Sales tax alone aren't going to satisfy. You got to do other things because you got a lot of things to pay. So other countries do the same thing. And these pandemic stimuluses and all that stuff, that's all bad. None of that ends up being good for us. It ends up being bad for us. So now U.S. stocks are acting like a safe haven. So they're selling and buying U.S. stocks. They were selling out their U.S. stocks in Bitcoin and buying Chinese stocks. And that's why the pump came. Now they're selling them out and going back to U.S. stocks. So China's stock market is still up 25% over the year, even after this drop. But, Hong Kong, by the way, financial regulators have confirmed that the full regulatory framework for digital assets is set to be completed next year. So as they start not only allowing crypto to be exchanged, but then regulations set in here in the U.S. and in other places, the explosion is going to happen. Something that you don't hear the media. See, the national media will tell you FTX collapse, and Sam Bankman-Fried and everything else going on, right? But are they doing it with the same kind of vigor, telling you that everybody got their money back from FTX plus interest, plus 19% interest? So you're getting your money back plus 19%. By the way, that 16 billion that's coming back in to those people, that's going to go into crypto. Not all 16 billion. But easily half of it, easily, these people, they all got their money back. Nobody ever talks about those kind of things because on the blockchain, you can't really do illegal activity. If you do, there's like a 99.9% chance they're going to catch you because it's impossible almost. Everything is traceable on the blockchain. That's why good old cash is going to be missed by criminals. Big time. Anyway, where's Elizabeth Warren? Is that bitch telling you about everybody in FTX getting their money back? Nah, of course not. So, ETFs, all right? They hit an inflow yesterday of $235 million, the Bitcoin ETFs, $235.2 million. Best performance since the beginning of the month. Fidelity, by the way, brought in $103 million. IBIT, $97.9 million. Bitwise and ARK Investments chimed in at $13 million and $12.6 million. BlackRock now owns 1,565 Bitcoin. Fidelity, 1,639. ARK Investments, 199. Bitwise, 207. And VanEck, 85. BlackRock, by the way, is on the verge of surpassing $23 billion in Bitcoin holdings on IBIT. The country of Bahrain, the National Bank of Bahrain, has now launched its first Bitcoin fund for institutional investors, offering capped Bitcoin gains and 100% downside loss protection. Countries, corporations, what are you doing? And I'm not a financial advisor, but I can just tell you what is going on. Tether reached 350 million users after a 24% surge in 2024. It now holds $119.6 billion market cap and has significant U.S. Treasury holdings and Bitcoin, by the way. And what do you think those people are waiting for? There's a lot of them that are about to just jump into this, into crypto, man. The Russian deputy foreign minister has stated that discussions on a single currency for the BRICS economic blocs are premature. And let me tell you something. We're learning more and more, at least I know I have in the last 5 years, about money. And the history of money and how a currency will dominate the world like the US has for 120 years, I believe. And we're now dying, and we're not going to be the world's currency down the line. We're on a huge downslope right now. Most people don't understand that or don't know that. But it doesn't matter what it is, whether it's Spain or France or whatever, different countries have taken turns where their currency is the number one and the world's currency for 80, 100, 110, 120 years. It's kind of like it's a cycle that it dies around the century mark at one point or another, just before or just after. And we're in the process of just after it dying. But with the BRICS talking about this, I don't think it's going to end up happening. Because if you start looking at the history, why do that? And that's why you're seeing everybody stack gold, and they're stacking silver, and now they're stacking Bitcoin, because I think that that's where money is going to be backed. And it's going to go back to that instead of the printing and devaluing of money, which is what everybody ends up doing. So the BRICS have to be careful, because they would fall into the same rut that everyone in every other country has in the history of our existence. So I thought it was interesting, but I wanted to throw that out there because of, the situation that we're in. MicroStrategy stock, MSTR is the sticker, is set to surge by 64%, according to some experts on the Bitcoin investment bet, analysts say. It's trading right now at $191. Bernstein's bullish forecast is based on the assumption that Bitcoin will hit 1 million by 2033, with MicroStrategy continuing to accumulation strategy. In June, Bernstein's analysis say their Bitcoin price predictions, raising expectations. They projected Bitcoin could reach 200,000 by 2025, 500,000 by 2029, and 1 million by 2033. By the way, in some bad news, really it's not, but the SEC just gave Crypto.com a Wells notice. Now, they do this all the time, and then they try to sue them, and then they lose. So Gary Gensler is used to losing. That's kind of his thing, Let me show you the most important chart that matters to Bitcoin. And I've talked about this before. It's called the M2 money supply. This is the M2 money supply is the total banks in the world. French banks, British banks, Brazilian banks, Argentine banks, German banks, US banks, Canadian banks. The M2 money supply is the world supply of money. And I want you to look at the history of Bitcoin in the blue and the global M2 money supply on the black. Now, look at the correlation. When you start printing money and you start going up, what happens with Bitcoin? Okay? And when you look at some of the movement, the M2 money supply only goes up. Why, ladies and gentlemen? What have we learned on the show? For those of you that didn't know, everybody prints. Does that look like it's going down at any point from the beginning of where it's at, where it was under 80 trillion, and now we're going over 100? Well, we're over 100 trillion. Just about. They keep printing. There's more money on the streets, and they'll end up on the streets because it'll end up worthless. And look at the jack from Bitcoin from 2020 on, from pandemic on, when people were afraid where their money was going, because those are smart people. And now even smarter people, as I showed you, the new whales are, if you watched yesterday's episode, I showed you the graph with the new whales. And that's the institutions that are jumping in. And they are the new whales. So everybody is starting to print. Every country is starting to print and infuse their economies because they have to. They have no choice. People are going to put their money where they know it's going to grow. to the one asset in the world that started 7-8 digits behind the penny, and it's in the 60,000 range. And over time, as I keep telling you, you hold Bitcoin, and over time, the growth is undeniable. You cannot argue. If you hang on to the daily, weekly, or monthly volatility, you are lying to yourself. But if you hold on for a 4-year period, the difference is enormous. And if you hold on for 8 years, the amount of money you are Xing over is ridiculous. So it's not too late. You're going to regret it that you didn't buy it at 63 or 67 or 70 or 60 or 55 when it's at 300 and 500 and $1 million. Not a financial advisor, but just a dude that has some common sense, and I think I see what the writing on the wall is and what everybody else is doing around the world. And then I see the people that are way rich. Well, I'm not rich. I'm only rich because of my wife and my daughter, because I have two amazing people in my life. But the people that are rich and really rich and super rich are doing, and what my broke ass should do. So I see what the powerful people are doing, and I see the powerless what should do. So it's up to you all out there. Do as you please. All right. That is episode number 5, October 8th, on the Crypto Bro Show.
The Crypto Bro Show is brought to you by RM Contractors and Custom Drywall. From complete makeovers for homes or condos to impact windows and doors to drywall with level 5 finish. Call Ray or Mike at RM Contractors and Custom Drywall. 305-345-3649. You dream it, they'll build it. See their exceptional work on Instagram at RMC Fisher Island.
Crypto Bros.
Follow Big O for more crypto insight on X or Twitter at Big O Show.